Growing your online business doesn't need to be complicated, overwhelming, or boring. In this video, I'll quickly summarize a few key components that you'll need in order to grow your online coaching business this year. And this is coming directly from our latest 4 podcast guests. You'll get to hear about the one thing that you need to be able to thrive online, the difference between those doing $50,000 months and those doing 6-figure months, the biggest challenge that small businesses face when they're trying to grow and scale, and lastly, you'll get to hear the thing that you need in order to scale past $100,000 months. With that being said, my name's Patrick Galang. Let's get into it. This is the Entrepreneur Unplugged. If you've been creating content or building any type of audience online, then you'll know how important engagement is. But there is one thing that's really important, and it's this.
Community. It has to be a key component for anyone to thrive. You can't do it alone.
The concept of building an audience gets amplified when you build a community around you. So how do you build a thriving community?
Vulnerability is incredibly powerful with a community. And so one thing when I gather people together fairly early on, I'll look to see where there's opportunity for vulnerability, because that is one of the quickest ways for me to go, I'm just like you. If I hear your story, I just relate. Or if you hear my story, you're like, I feel that, I get that. And that just creates a bond.
What Ryan's saying there is probably one of the hardest things to accomplish. But if you can get to a point where you're sharing things that you're uncomfortable about, that in turn will make your audience feel more comfortable. And once you have that relatability, the next few tips, it's just going to increase your engagement.
There's value. So once we've gotten to know each other and understand that, hey, I'm just a dude with the same color blood as you, like, then how can I serve you? And you need to adopt that approach yourself. If you're the leader of the community, you need to be able to share value and then invite your members into sharing value back. And sometimes that's heavier to lift at the start and then becomes lighter as people start to pick up on what it takes to make a community. And if there was a third thing, I would say not always about the business. It can't always just be about the business because we know that life is far more than just that.
It's a lot more than that. Now, for those working on getting to the 50 to 100K months, you can get there with pretty decent marketing and some hustle. But to get beyond that, then it takes a little bit more.
Like the difference between a company that does 50,000 a month and a company like I do that do 300K a month in the first 8 months is team, vision, process, and fulfillment.
I couldn't agree more with the list of those 4 things, but the thing that stands out to me the most is fulfillment.
You have all of those things in the right place, and you can be 20% on one, but I will never go below 90% fulfillment. And if I do, we're pulling back, because that's the most important thing for me. Fulfillment over anything is the most important thing, over all the amount of money in Saudi Arabia.
This is where we see a lot of growing businesses go south, is the lack of focus on fulfillment. Good fulfillment feeds the growth of your business through referrals, happy clients, and also happy teams and happy staff.
Product is definitely important, but I think your name, your fulfillment, and your reputation are the most important.
If you're a solopreneur and you're looking to grow your business, build a team, get some more of your time back, then there's no doubt that you're going to be the bottleneck of everything. And here's why.
I think the biggest challenge that small business faces is consistency. And they really struggle to be able to do tasks on a consistent basis without that key person dependency. So whenever you first get started, complexity will happen automatically.
As business owners, we tend to want to put more things and add more things into our business. And that causes a lot of issues where really the concept of KISS stands very true.
You always want to start with simple. Simple is actually more scalable, less moving parts. And there's a tendency when you're just starting out to overcomplicate because you understand the thing intimately. You're customizing solutions for every client that comes through. And it's easy then to kind of get caught up in it because of the complexity.
But hey, if you're a small business and you have average systems, don't worry, it doesn't just happen to you.
It seems to be at no matter the level of company or the size, there's only a handful that really nail the systems component. Like it's more the exception than the rule. Even for very large companies can be very disorganized or they go off track.
Now, as you go to the higher levels of revenue in your business, this is where good leadership becomes real.
It's crazy. Like, it took me 3-4 years to build a really high quality team, because you got to hire, you're going to lose people, you got to see what's a good fit, what's a bad fit. You can read books and listen to podcasts all day long, but there's nothing that really beats experience. It's slow. It's a slow teacher, but it's the most effective because you remember. So I think most people hire too early. The people who hire too late, I think they burn out because they suck at leadership. They suck at the things that make you a good leader. So you can get to 100K a month pretty much just sheer will and determination. You want to get higher than that, you have to learn how to build a good team, because you don't have any more time.
So then what's the biggest issue when it comes to building a team at that higher level where good leadership is so important?
I'll tell you, from the clients I work with, the biggest issue they have is they don't know that they're a bad leader. So they'll bring people on and they give them these ridiculous wages that obviously they're not going to stick to, or they'll pay someone $2,500 and they want them to be a full-time sales rep. Or, you know, they'll just ask for ridiculous things. I say, guys, there's a balance. Like, there's what's best for the business, there's what's best for people. And if you really want to keep people happy long term, there's got to be, in my experience, it's in the middle. Right? If you do too much over here, they're going to leave because you're an a-hole. If you're too much over here and you're like too nice, you don't get anything done in the company and they're just kind of abusing you. So it's that dichotomy of leadership. There's a book, Jocko Willink wrote it.
I carefully considered these topics because they're not often talked about. And if you implement them into your business, it's going to help you grow. But more importantly, it's going to help give you longevity. So take those notes and implement them into your business at the stage that you're at. And if you like the video, hit that subscribe button, and we'll be back with episode 6 of the podcast next week. So we'll see you then.